Well, there's a lot to talk about after this game, and who better to talk about it than Richard Skinner and Mo Egger from 1530 ESPN. Guys, we'll just get right to it. Mo, I'll start with you. How should Bengal fans feel after this game?
I think disappointed, but not dissuaded. I mean, how are you not disappointed, right? Most highly anticipated season opener in years. The Steelers are coming. You're favored by nearly a touchdown. Kind of a coronation day, and for things to go the way they did, and for some of, I think, our worst fears to be realized, that's disappointing. At the same time, it's week one. I think the ceiling for this team is still really high. If you felt that way coming in, you should still feel that way, but I don't know how you're not disappointed after watching that this afternoon.
I'm going to go fearful. I don't disagree with that because I think that's probably the right way to do it. Kind of fearful and empty. The emptiness of you could have won, should have lost, didn't lose, might have tied, could have tied. I mean, all those different things that went into it. So I do think that for me, it is a little disappointing just because now you got to go back-to-back road games and try to get back on track, and that can be really scary in this league.
I guess if there's solace you can take in this game, it's the fact that the Bengals played awful at times and still had a chance to win it in the end. It's week one. We'll see where we go from here. The offensive line, speaking of week one, they have not played together at all in the preseason. It showed out there, giving up 7 sacks. How concerned should we be with the offensive line, Skinny?
Concerned enough. I mean, 7 sacks is still a lot. This was going to be a challenge anyway. This is a great front. The first play of the game, Cam Hayward literally takes Cordell Volson and picked him up and brought him all the way into the backfield and said, now I'm going to move you. I'm going to sack the quarterback. That was a bad start. TJ Watt's obviously an all-pro. I mean, there's 2 all-pros there. 3 to 5 sacks I might have lived with and less quarterback hits, but 11 quarterback hits and 7 sacks. I think it's concerning. They moved the ball in the run game some, but it wasn't consistent enough. You have to be concerned after this.
It didn't feel like many clean pockets
right.
for Joe. So, yeah, there's the sacks, but just watching it, he was under duress all day. And you could say, well, look, they should have prepared more in the preseason. Fine, address that next August. What are you going to do for this Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys? That front's not as good, but that offensive line that I watched today isn't capable of blocking anybody in this league.
Yeah, and really, the only time they really started to stop was when Pittsburgh got really fatigued in the fourth quarter and overtime. They kind of almost stopped rushing because they were so tired.
Well, it's easy. When you're running that much at the quarterback,
yes.
You do get tired.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Burrow, despite getting sacked 7 times, 4 interceptions, 5 turnovers total because that fumble could have been an interception. They ruled it a fumble. You knew he was going to have a little bit of rust to knock off. But I don't think we've seen him this turnover prone in a very long time, especially after that playoff run where he seemingly fixed all of his turnover problems. Was it, Mo, bad decisions? Was it the rust? Was it good defense? What was it?
Probably a combination of all of it. I hate the rust thing, right? Because I don't want him playing in the preseason ever. So if now you're going to have to play him in the preseason to ensure that every year he shakes off rust, boy, that's a proposition that I don't like. But it's undeniable what you saw. That wasn't good quarterback play. Yeah, he was under duress a lot, but he made bad decisions. Felt like he was throwing off his back foot the entire afternoon. Some of that's mechanics. Some of that's just the rush. None of it was any good.
Yeah, I'm not going rust either. I mean, he did beat the Vikings last year without playing in the preseason. The COVID year, they didn't play a preseason game, and he almost beat the Chargers, if not for a weird pass interference calling A.J. Green. The throw that Minkah Fitzpatrick intercepted was a bad decision. I'm not sure what he was looking at on that play. The one down the middle that Cameron Sutton intercepted, initially he threw it, I thought it was a good ball, and it hung. So he obviously didn't throw it probably the way he would have liked. To Mo's point, probably threw it more off of his back foot. But, yeah, I think it was a combination, too. It's funny, Paul Dehner Jr. from The Athletic predicted, I think, he would throw 5 interceptions this season, and I projected that he would throw less than 10. In my prediction column, we're going to be way, way off, I think.
I was playing a game with a couple other reporters in the press box. Who was going to have more, Joe Burrow turnovers or FC Cincinnati goals? It got very close.
Man.
6-5, very close. Was not expecting that one. Now, I've been accused many times of being too negative, so let's end this segment on a positive note. Skinny, we'll start with you. I want a bright spot from this game.
Jamar Chase is still really good. He cramped up late. He fought like a crazy man, made almost a great one-handed catch for a touchdown. Had another one that should have been ruled a touchdown if they'd have challenged it, and then catches the game tire. I thought defenses would scheme to take him away, and Pittsburgh did. They played a bunch of too high looks and said, you're not going over the top, and he still went for 10 and 129. He's still great.
Mitchell Wilcox will not be the long snapper against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, let's face it, if Clark Harris is healthy, they win the game. They walk him off.
That's correct.
Right? I mean, despite the turnovers, despite all the pass protection issues, if they convert the PAT, which they would have with Clark Harris, they win the game. The good news is it might not be Clark Harris. It ain't going to be Mitchell Wilcox.
Get to know you some Cal Adamitis. Write that down, folks.